Star Wars geek girls. They're geek girls that like Star Wars.
I got it.
Wow, you guys know more than I do because I totally forgot the title of the episode.
It took me a second to remember it.
Me too.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Zoe from Star Wars Geek Girl. I'm here with Lizzy as usual.
Hello.
And we
have
have
a very special guest. Her name is
Yay!
Jonah. Hi, Jonah.
Hi!
How are you doing?
Doing okay.
That's good. How's Ma?
Ma's fine. She's trying to find things to entertain herself with on the television. So, yeah, that's what she's been keeping busy with lately.
Has she watched all the Clone Wars?
No, actually. So we're a bit behind with our podcasting schedule, mainly because I'm the lazy one in the duo. So I haven't done any podcasting notes, and that's bad of me. I should have done them by now, but I will get to them, and we're going to talk about the arc with Rafa and Trace. So we still haven't done that, but we will, and it's going to be great.
Okay, so she's caught up on like Clone Wars, but not podcast-wise?
Yeah, so she watched the entire series, and she's pretty much caught up except for this last episode that we're going to talk about.
Ooh, okay. She needs to get on that because it's really, really good.
I know.
Yeah, so real quick, what did you think about the Trace and Rafa arc?
Oh, it was good. I really enjoyed the development on Ahsoka's part, like seeing how the Jedi and their involvement in this war has pretty much affected the way people perceive them. So it was really interesting for her to see that, because obviously being in the Jedi Order, she wasn't able to actually witness that. So I really enjoyed those two characters. Although I will say that I'm probably one of the few who's like, oh man, I'm kind of curious what Nyx would have been like in this arc, the original character that was supposed to be there with Ahsoka. So I'm just always curious about those kind of decisions. So I would have been really interesting to see how he would have played a role in that arc. But for what we got for the two sisters, I really much enjoyed them, and how Trace was just this sweet, charming, kind of ditzy sometimes. Like, no, Trace, don't dump the spice. Don't do that.
Why would you do that?
Yeah. But she was so sweet and good-hearted. And, of course, Rafa, having grown up, though, as the older sister who needs to look after her younger sister, she obviously had to make some tough decisions, and it hardened her. So it was great to see her kind of learn from what's happened, and hopefully not make those kind of decisions moving forward.
Definitely. I really enjoyed the arc. I know a lot of people didn't, but I liked seeing Ahsoka just because she knows how kind of terrible the Order and stuff are personally, but now she gets to see it through the eyes of the people, and I think that's really, really cool. But yeah, I liked it. Also, Space Latinas. So
yes, that's right. Space cool. Latinas. Yeah, I was very happy to see more of a woman-focused arc, and then on top of that, it was just two Space Latinas doing their thing.
Yeah. I thought it was so... Trace is adorable. You said she's great. But sometimes she's just so frustrating.
yeah. There was at one point, it was when she dumped the spice. I was like, Trace, no. I had to pause it and massage my temples. Like, okay, so this character, oh man, this character. But I knew that she was growing on people, and she definitely grew on me. Yeah,
and then for this one, I just thought it was really funny. Not you're dumb, Trace, but when Ahsoka's trust me, she's pretending that she's mean and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then they go back, and she's like, "Why would Ahsoka be so mean like that?" And Rafa's like, "Really?"
And I think part of the reason she's like that is because her sister has had to protect her in that way. So she's kind of lived in her own little bubble where
Yeah.
some of these bigger, rougher experiences are more of what Rafa can handle more than what Trace can handle. So
Yeah.
I think that's partly because of how Trace has partly because of how Rafa has raised her.
Yeah. I think it was all cool. Zoe likes space laundromats though.
I just think it's cool when there's normal things and then they just make them Star Wars. It's
You
just
know,
I just really like that.
yeah, it was a very interesting feature. And actually, the first time I saw it, I thought, really? Because I thought because I don't know what I thought when seeing that. I just imagined Star Wars characters having like a more advanced way of cleaning their clothes. So I maybe like something sophisticated, like opening like a door or hatch on the wall, dumping their clothes in there, and then like 10 seconds later they're clean. But I didn't actually envision a space laundromat. So when I saw that, I was like, really? But it actually, like Trace, it grew on me. So, so I was like, okay, I'll
True.
accept it.
It's fine.
One thing I really liked about the episode was that it was two sisters. Because, like, I have a sister. Like, I'm a pair of sisters, or part of a pair of sisters. And there isn't a lot of that, like, in Star Wars. Even just, like, in media in general, it's usually, like, two brothers or a brother and a sister. But there
So
isn't
true.
much of two sisters. So that felt, that was nice. And also, me and Safi have the same haircuts as Trace and Rafa, just reversed for older, younger.
Oh, that's true. That's right.
So that was cool, too.
Yeah, you're right. You're so right. The fact that it's very rare. So yeah, it was refreshing to see that.
Yeah. Little siblings are frustrating, Axel.
It's like, I have, like, Trace and Rafa, and then, like, Anna and Elsa. And that's all I can think of right now.
I know it's hard to come up with anyone other than those two at the moment. Yeah.
True, yeah. And then we have the space siblings, Ezra and Sabine.
No,
At least-
stop.
They're definitely space siblings. You're outnumbered on this podcast, Jonah.
I'm just saying.
It's so funny because I had posted a photo earlier because today, as we're recording this, it's Dapper Day at home. So I posted a photo of myself wearing a Brave-inspired outfit, and in the background you can see my desk and my bureau and a whole bunch of Star Wars figures and stuff. And I didn't realize that in the back I had put Sabine and Ezra together in their corner.
Wait,
You need to, it's
I
just
need to
it was
see
so
it now.
funny. It's the action figures like kind of like kissing in the corner. And I was like, oh my god, I saw this after I posted it. So I was
Oh,
like,
no.
oh well, I hope nobody notices it.
well, now I'm gonna go look at it.
It was so funny. But yes,
It was so cute.
I am outnumbered in this subject, but we can move on.
I found them.
Yeah. So,
Anyway.
so the newest episode, Old Friends Not Forgotten. Just before we go into the details, just general thoughts.
General thoughts.
I loved it. It was a lot. I thought it went on for hours, but in a good way. But yeah. In the beginning, it was like I said, it took forever, but like in a good way. And then late when it was done, I was like, that was so quick.
I know. Yeah, it was just mind blowing to me, and it really felt like old Clone Wars. Like the two arcs before definitely felt like old Clone Wars, but something about this episode was like I really felt it when I hadn't, like, even more than I had before, and I cried the whole way through, of course.
Oh yeah, there were some parts that definitely got me tearing up, like just Ahsoka and Rex being together again.
Oh,
like
yeah.
The last time we saw them, it was around the time that Ahsoka was being
Accused.
framed, for this situation that she got herself caught in. So it was great to see them again together and just being reminded of where they were initially when she got introduced into this war, and then later on when the rebels comes into the picture. So I was just like, oh my god, this is so beautiful.
I know,
Yeah.
it was so good. Yeah, I think that's where I teared up too, and I was like, why am I tearing up? Like, because I never, not that I didn't, I don't know how to put this, but like I never, like I always thought, oh, Rex and Ahsoka, cool. But this time I was like, Rex and Ahsoka.
Can't relate. I
And-
cried
and,
through the
like-
whole thing.
Yeah. And like I love that the clones that they're very, very loyal. And then I thought about that and I was like, Order 66.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. Oh gosh, I can't. I am. Ah! But I will say that overall, this episode had some great little connections to Rebels that I really really loved,
It
and
did.
One of them really that caught my attention and that also made me tear up was when Ahsoka and Anakin are saying essentially their goodbyes, because this is going to be the last time they see each other, and the distance from which they're standing from each other, and the way that Anakin looks at her, it was so much like that moment in Twilight of the Apprentice when
It's shot for shot.
yeah, when Vader's looking at her and you can see the crack on his helmet, and I thought, oh my god, this is so good.
Well, and another thing I noticed with that scene is that like, and this is where my film analysis degree in progress is coming in handy. But in this scene, it's almost shot for shot, but the shots are closer on the characters, where it's wider in Twilight of the Apprentice, because they have the more distance, both emotionally and physically, between them in Twilight of the Apprentice than the Clone Wars.
Very well done. Oh my gosh. A+ analysis. That's awesome.
Putting it to use.
Good. Yeah, I really did like all these little connections to Rebels lately. It's just, I think, well, I guess the big one that's my favorite is Ursa. Ursa
Oh my
Wren
gosh.
is just, I saw her, like, at the first episode she was in, I was like, oh my goodness.
I freaked out.
I'm just kind of laughing at myself though, because like before Clone Wars and people are saying like, oh, they could add all these Rebels connections, and I was like, I don't really want that. I want to like preserve it, and now that it's happening, I'm like, yes.
I know. And then when I saw Sharmila Devar's name in the credits, I was like, oh my god, it's Ursa Wren. This is amazing. Because one of the things that I wanted going into this arc was, shush, ambulance, please, I'm trying to record. One of the
Me
things
with
that
motorcycles.
one of the things that I wanted to see going into this arc was Ursa Wren. Like, I wanted to have some Mandalorian connections to the Rebels, and so that was super well done on the team's part.
Yeah, for when we were just watching Rebels, I was very curious. I was like, were they against Bo-Katan at the time? Were they with her? Like, what was their stand on the whole Maul situation? Like, I was very curious, and now I have that. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. My answer. Yeah, but I also noticed Vanessa Marshall is in this episode.
That's right.
She plays as
voiced-
Rook Cast.
Yes, so good.
And I thought it was so cool. And here's the thing, when I first saw that scene, like, you see the back of Rook Cast, and she has like bluish hair. And I was like, wait a second. I wasn't I don't know why, but my brain was like, Sabine, you're supposed to be 2 years old.
It's so funny because Rook Cast, when she first appeared in the Son of Dathomir comics, everyone was looking at her helmet, and we were all theorizing she has to be related to Sabine because of the similarities in the helmet. She must be part of the clan, like as a cousin or something. And obviously we found out that that was not the case, that it was actually her mom, Ursa Wren, who was part of Death Watch. So it was really interesting to see Rook Cast and then still have those similarities and, like styling and the color choice. So part of me is like, are you somewhat related to Sabine? I don't know.
Yeah. Like,
Like,
what's
I can't
going
help but
on?
go back to that theory.
I mean, she could be like a cousin from a different clan or something. We don't really know how Mandalorian clans work. Like,
No.
because they're all, like, some of them are, like, related and some aren't. So, like, she
Yeah,
could
yeah.
be something, you know? I don't know.
hope
I'm
we
just,
know.
the first thing, because well, like, months ago, they released some shirt with a bunch of helmets, and her helmet was on it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
because her helmet's really, like, narrow in the front, so my first thought was, oh, that looks more like a mask than a helmet. So what if Maul has a Mandalorian mask? Because that would be cool. But it's not true. But I don't know. I get hung up on paint jobs, which I know I shouldn't, because I do Sabine, who has like a million paint jobs. But like I was like, no, it's not a real cast. Her helmet's not the same. And like I was talking to a friend about it before the episode came out, and he's like, she could have just painted it. And I was like, but no. But it was her. She dyed. That was the first thing I noticed though, was that she dyed her hair. It made me very happy. I don't know why, but she did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, and question, since I mentioned Son of Dathomir, would you guys would have liked to have seen an animated version of that? Like a 4-episode arc based on it, even though we have the comic?
No, not really. I mean, since we had the comic, I'd say no. Like, if we didn't, then I would want to see it in, like, in Clone Wars. But also, I just want to see more Ahsoka and Mando's.
I would say yes, but only if it wasn't at the expense of an arc that hasn't come out as a book or comic.
Correct. Yeah, like I would want it as an additional, like make it a 16 episode arc, a 16 episode season, I mean. And then have that arc included in there. And I would have loved to have seen it not as, page by page as what we see in the comic, but definitely vary it up to see how Maul creates, Crimson Dawn and whatnot. Like I would have loved to have seen that in Clone Wars.
Yeah, that would have been really cool.
Yeah.
That's while we're talking about Rebels connection, Scar Saxon was there.
Yeah,
That's
he was.
right. And, it was so funny because part of me was like, I hate you. But the other part of me is like, oh my gosh, Rebels.
Well, I was like, it didn't fully register to me that it was him, like, immediately. Like, I saw him, and I was like, you look familiar. But, like,
Yeah.
and then she said his name, and I was like, oh, him.
Oh my god. Okay, so
He looks like, someone made a meme where it was said that, like, Rebels Scar Saxon was, like, regular Squidward, and Clone Wars is, like, the handsome Squidward, and that's basically what it is.
That's so true.
the other day, I think the first episode of Clone Wars, we were watching Ahsoka, and she was, like, slowly descending down, and then she, like, we see Mandos, like, well, they're not Mandos, they're Mandalorian peeps, but my dad looks at him and he was like, hey, it's Mandalorians. And I was like, why? Because they're white? And he was like, well, I mean, kinda. and then I sent it to Zoe, and I don't know, I just thought about that.
At that moment, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gar Saxon, that blew my mind. And like, I didn't even think about putting him there. I mean, obviously he should have been there, but in my mind I wasn't asking for it. I was like, oh, I want to see Gar Saxon. I actually wanted to be, I was actually asking, I want to see Fen Rao.
That's what I was about to
That would
say.
be really cool, yeah.
I also, Bo-Katan has her Rebels paint job on her helmet. I told you I get hung up on paint jobs, but we talked about this last episode, Lizzie. I said that in the original, the first trailer with that scene had Bo-Katan's old model with her old paint job, and when we saw in the new episode, in the Ahsoka episodes, that she had her Rebels paint job, I said I bet they're gonna reanimate the scene with the walk up with her new model, and I was right. I just want to point that out.
Very nice. Wow. I actually did not notice any of that. So it wasn't until after the episode aired that some people put up like comparisons of those two scenes. I was like, oh, okay, I did not notice it. So I commend you, Zoe.
Good job, Zoe.
And then one other big Rebels connection was Caleb, young Caleb.
Yeah, he's a baby. He looks like Jason.
does.
I feel so vindicated because everyone always says it like, oh, that doesn't look like Kanan. I was like, no, it does because he had like a round little baby face when he was a kid.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
so
it's,
small.
it's vindicating.
I know. Oh gosh, I saw that, and then someone was like, "Oh my gosh, what if we see the Order 66 scene with Caleb and Depa
No.
Balava?" And I was like, "No,
Well-
we cannot. I will not be able to handle that."
But here's what if we see Order 66, right? Which sucks, of course. But what if we see it, but instead of seeing all the Jedi getting gunned down, we see the Jedi that are surviving. So Caleb, Cal Kestis, Sere, Jocasta Nu, Quinlan Voss, some other
That
people
would
survive.
be brilliant.
So it's like a more hopeful twist, you know?
I love that. Oh my gosh, I really hope they thought of that. If not,
But
they
I want
need
to
to
be
have
hurt.
you as part of their team. To come up
I am
with
more
something.
than okay with that.
I would like to be hurt.
It still hurts. Well, we can get both. You know, maybe for every Jedi we see die, we see another one survive.
Yeah.
So
Oh
that's
man,
for
that
balance.
would be super cool.
But I need to see Darth Vader animated in the Clone Wars style. That's what I really need. Because we take Darth Vader's design for granted too much, but it's just amazing. And I need to see it in the Clone Wars style. I'm going to be upset if it doesn't.
I don't know. I
happen.
wonder if that's a bit too much. If they, I mean, because I know that it's going to happen, around the same time with Revenge of the Sith. But I wonder if that's going to be a little bit too much for what they're trying to cover in the. Because I feel like they're going to focus more on Rex and Ahsoka than on what's happening in the rest of the galaxy right now, especially with Anakin.
True.
But what if Ahsoka reaches out to see if Anakin, and she senses nothing, but then like the last shot of the Clone Wars is the Vader.
Ooh, that
And
that
then his
actually, I
breathing,
do like that.
you hear
Yes.
his breathing, and then it cuts to black, and then credits.
Because
Boom.
that's the incoming next 20 or so years of what are considered the dark times. I like that. Oh my gosh.
I don't mind seeing Darth Vader because mostly, I don't know. I'm not that I'm over Darth Vader, but he's in everything, and I definitely just want to see Ahsoka
I just want to see his.
and Mando's.
I just want to see him animated in the style. Really.
Mm.
I just
Yeah,
want to
'cause
know
he
what
looked
that
great in
looks.
Rebels.
I just want to know what it looks like. Cause
Yeah.
like Vader has like the paint, like all of Clone Wars. I mean, has like the painted on textures for everything, and I just want to see Vader with that. That's what I want.
That would be interesting.
fair.
It would be, yeah.
Dude, so when they're going to Mandalore, and Ahsoka like jumps off and she lands on the platform, and there's a huge explosion behind her. Like, we all screamed, but we were like, oh my god, that's such a like Vader move, like Anakin move to do, you know? Because like in Rebels, Vader comes down literally on top of his TIE fighter. Like, he's so
awesome.
dramatic.
It was very extra, yes.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
But I love
yeah,
that
that
Ursa
was
Wren
very-
comes up after her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Ursa.
I do also need to point out before I forget, like that 2-second shot of Grievous made my day. I mean, the whole episode made my day.
yeah.
But I love General Grievous. He looks so good in the new animation. Amazing. He's winning. I love it. I mean, he's gonna die, but I just need to say it because
Yeah, he'll die soon. That's okay.
he
Yeah, it
looks
was
so
really- it was really
good.
well done, yeah.
I want a whole episode of Grievous in this new animation style because he just, like, his eyes was perfect.
Yeah, I just really like the new animation. Like, it's not completely new, but it's refined. Like, they put a lot of work into this. And not that they didn't before, but like just a lot. And I don't know, I think it's just me, but every time like we see Ahsoka, there's always like this light or like she glows, and it's just, I love it, and she's just an angel. There was a thing I wanted to say real quick about Ursa. Oh, so I was talking to my mom about it, because Sabine is like 2 years old-ish right now.
Yes.
And I was like, it would be really cute if we saw that, but I know we won't, And then my mom was like, why not? I took you everywhere when you were little. Like, oh, maybe. She's
like to
behind,
think
she's
that-
under that Mando cloak.
Yeah. I like to think that she's with Ulrich somewhere at home or something, and they're just finger painting.
Yeah, well, I like
Yeah.
to, we were talking about this last time too. I like to think that like Ursa pretty much just had Tristan because he's young. Because I figure in my head, Tristan has younger than Sabine. We know that, but he can't be really any younger than Ezra. Like I can't picture
No.
that. So
No,
she
he's definitely a year or two younger.
then Ezra, or
No, no,
Ezra.
no. Then Sabine.
Yeah, Tristan. So I'm figuring like Tristan has to pretty much have been born like pretty recently for Siege of Mandalore.
Yeah,
Because
I think so.
so like I'm just picturing like Ulrich dealing with like a tiny little newborn and then also Sabine putting paint on everything while Ursa's out saving the world. And that
Love
just
it.
makes me very happy.
I know, it's so good.
He's so cute. Here's the thing, like, Zoe said that she doesn't think he would be able to handle it. My
I
dad
didn't
says
say-
otherwise.
I didn't say he wouldn't be able to handle it. I just said he's not having an easy time because newborns and toddlers aren't
He's got
easy.
it. My dad could do it. He could.
I'm
do
sure
it.
he's doing it. You said he's having an easy time. He's not having an easy time. That's just the nature of children.
Oh
He's
gosh.
fine.
Kids, I'm kind of allergic to them. But,
Me too, honestly. They're
but
fun.
what else am I about this episode that really I just really love going back to what Lizzie was saying about Ahsoka and jumping onto the platform, like just that whole sequence beforehand with Rex and Rex laughing. First of all, like I have not seen Rex
yeah.
laugh that way.
Your
I don't
husband.
think ever. That's
I don't
right.
think he's laughed that way since Ahsoka first called Anakin Sky Guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, Zoe!
Wow. Yes. What a great connection.
I mean, really, Ahsoka walking down the ramp being greeted by R2 and Obi-Wan and Anakin was a direct callback to her
Oh
first.
yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
Zoe!
What?
Zoe! No.
Well, and then him giving her lightsabers back was almost shot for shot her pushing her Silka beads back onto him when he tried to give them back.
Oh yeah, and actually isn't, I don't remember it all that well, but wasn't that a similar shot to Forces of Destiny, the Forces of Destiny episode when she gets her Shoto?
Yeah. It was pretty. Yeah. You're
Yeah,
right.
I think so. Oh, that's so sad.
Perhaps.
One thing they've done really well is doing parallel shots. I mean, Clone Wars has always done that really well, but this season really is just hammering it in. Especially
Yeah,
with
but
the,
it just looks so natural.
it's so good. Just like the one episode with when Ahsoka, Trace, and Rafa were leaving on the ship, and Ahsoka and Anakin sensing each other with shot for shot Luke and Vader sensing each other. That was the closest out of anything.
Yeah.
That was rough. I mean, good, but like rough.
I screamed. It more reminded me of Rebels when they first sensed each other, but then I saw like the video clip of Luke, and I was like, okay, that it could be either, maybe, but it's more shot for shot.
The shots aren't similar for Rebels, but the
but it's the same idea.
intention's the same.
Yes. So.
And
that
also,
was a
I
lot.
need to mention Almec's armor.
His armor.
I hate
that was
him.
another cat. Me too. I was
But-
like, I hate you, but your armor is fire right now.
Well, like, his armor is so, like, more clearly, like, more ornamental than the other Mandalorians. Like, he does fight in it, but he has, like, the ropes and stuff, and it's like,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to fight in that, dude. You're not a warrior. Put that down.
Yeah, it was more ceremonial, which reminds me of, I forget what convention this was. It might have been a celebration. I was just not part of it. But there was a piece of art that Dave Filoni had drawn of, I think it was Dave Filoni who had drawn it, but it was of Satine in her ceremonial armor. And I forget what the story was surrounding that, but I remember seeing that floating around Twitter one day, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's amazing. So it's really cool that they brought that in. Even though it was in Satine, they did it with Almec.
Oh, yeah. So I thought it was really funny because, so a lot of people were saying like, oh, you know, the last arc wasn't relevant and stuff like that. Dumb stuff. But, but then we see when Ahsoka and Bo are asking for help, and Obi-Wan's like, well, we can't really do that, and I thought, like, to me at least, like, without that last arc, Ahsoka wouldn't be so salty. Like, maybe she'd be
Right.
a little salty, but, like, there was a lot, and she was basically like, this is why people don't support the Jedi anymore. This is what the Jedi, like, it was a lot. And Bo says to Obi-Wan, like, I thought Satine meant something to you. And I was tearing. I was like, no, my Satine and my Obi-Wan.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah.
That was rough, Ahsoka and Obi-Wan, because they were like arguing, and I was like, don't, you're never gonna see each other again, stop.
Stop.
This is the last time you'll see each other, just say something nice, please.
Yeah. I mean, he did end up helping her a bit, though. So. But
it just hurts, because Ahsoka, based on like the Ahsoka novel and stuff, she feels guilty about that for like ever.
Oh yeah. Oh, and now that you brought up the Ahsoka novel, the fact that Fulcrum was dropped in that episode, I'm still kind of torn over it, because it's implied in the novel, at least from my recollection, it was implied that Ahsoka came up with it, the concept of Fulcrum, when she was talking to Bail in that novel. And then in this episode, now it's stated that it's Anakin's frequency. So I guess she got Fulcrum from him. And while that's cool because now Fulcrum is a thing that Anakin invented, I also don't like it because, again, the implication was that Ahsoka came up with it. So I was like, yay, Ahsoka came up with this brilliant thing that became something, where Cassian took on the name and Callus took on the name. So I was just like, yay, this is so cool. And now we have to attribute it to Anakin. I got kind of, angry at that a bit because I was like, why?
why?
I was just thinking, like, I don't know, like Anakin/Vader is either really didn't care or was just the dumbest person in the whole galaxy. Because how could he came up with this code name that the rebellion used for years and no one ever found it? Until Thrawn. Thrawn found it, not Vader, though.
And that's the thing that bugs me. It's like, why create that? It was like this very unnecessary connection that we could have just left it as is, that Ahsoka came up with it. And that would have made it harder to find because it was only something that Ahsoka knew about.
Mm-hmm. At the same time, they did use Obi-Wan and Luke use their real names on Tatooine, so...
That's true.
Anakin really is just dumb, I guess.
I mean, he didn't even realize that his wife was pregnant, so...
Oh, that's true in that one episode.
I still think there's a chance. I mean, obviously it's very likely he didn't know, but there's a chance he didn't want to be like, hey, you gained weight. Are you pregnant or something? Like, you can't say that.
But, like, who holds their stomach like that?
I don't know. Would you say something if you saw someone, like, slightly round and they were putting their hands over their stomach? Would you just be like, oh, are you pregnant?
Yeah,
I'd be like, oh, are you okay?
Oh, yeah, are you okay? And then Nepali covered up with, yeah, I'm fine. But because they're not ready to reveal it yet.
But then, like, that would mean that he actually noticed something.
Oh, that's true, that's true.
Maybe he's just looking at her face,
That's true. She does have a beautiful face. Mm-hmm. And she was giving some good advice.
Yeah. Although,
Padme.
I'm glad they managed to fit that. This is not about the episode we're talking about, but I'm glad they managed to fit Padme in. But you know who I miss this season? Hondo.
Oops.
Our Lord and Savior, Hondo Ohnaka.
I just recently read a comic that Hondo was in because it was an explanation of how Han got his ship taken. And Hondo was at the end of that. And
Hondo's everywhere.
It was cool. Hondo is everywhere.
Is that
He
Star
has a
Wars
porg
Adventures?
named Lucky. Yes, it is.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was really, really good. Because, my dad told me to read them, and I was like, okay. And I read them, and I was kind of expecting, like, super cartoony, like just jokes and stuff. But it was actually, like, very informational.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information there. And the art is just really cute and beautiful. So, yeah. Everyone should read that.
You know what's a character I also cried over, and we only knew him for like 5 seconds? Vaughn.
Oh. That
That was
hurt.
so
Yeah.
sad.
I don't. Was he in anything else?
No, I think that was the
No.
first time we ever saw him.
I just
Okay.
I just got very attached. But you know what? Captain Vaughn's great, but I cannot call Rex Commander Rex. It's just
No, I
it just
can't.
doesn't work.
No, I can't either.
Like he deserves a promotion. I'm very proud of him, but and he knows it too because he goes back to Captain in Rebels. Like
Aw.
yeah.
Yeah.
it doesn't work. It just doesn't
True.
taste right.
Yeah.
No, but I didn't
love that.
know who Vaughn was. I was like, okay. And then everyone on the internet was like, oh my god, Vaughn. I'm like, what is he from?
Yeah, I think it was just the
Did
way
I miss
that he was-
something?
He was just so loyal, and I think everyone just grew
Yeah,
attached to him
how
in
he
those 5 seconds.
died.
I'm
And yeah,
just-
that was sad.
I'm just glad because when that shot was first in the trailer, everyone was like, "Oh, what if it's like Jesse or Kix?" I was like, "No."
It's definitely not
So I
Kix.
am glad it's not.
Sometimes I get frustrated because like it's the littlest books that have the most information. And have you guys read Aliens?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So
Kix.
you know that Kix is alive during like Force Awakens and stuff
Indeed.
because Dooku freezes him. But yeah, I don't know why, but I just got excited when we saw Kix. And then for Resistance, I was excited. I was like, because we saw Crimson, and I was like, oh my god, what if we see Kix? What if we see Kix? We did not. But-
I still hold the belief that Kix, because their Sidon Ithano is in the Rise of Skywalker when the Resistance is all celebrating. He's in the background, so I'm of the opinion that Kix got to fight over what's the planet's name?
Exegol?
Exegol, and he
Yes.
got to avenge his brothers against Palpatine indirectly. That's my belief.
I love that.
Yeah. I think the only reason I remember the name so quickly was because I've been getting people to watch Resistance. So like whenever I make a new friend on Discord, I'm like, hey, watch Resistance. And like so far 2 have done it. But one of them just told me, they were like, dude, guess who fought on Exegol? I was like, I know. I know.
I miss Resistance.
Me too.
I want another season.
That series deserved the 3rd season.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, it should not have ended there. October should have been a season 3 premiere of Star Wars Resistance.
It was a good ending for the time frame, but there was so much more to do. It's
Oh,
so
yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
I miss those
Especially-
characters. I'm worried we'll
Kind-
never see them again.
Oh, me too. I'm super worried about that, especially Sonara, because I have like this huge crush on her, and like,
Yes.
I love her.
She's so
Um,
amazing.
But yeah,
My thing is,
definitely-
I want Tam and Sonara
I love Tam.
together.
Like,
And that's another thing. Like, I wanted to see Tam and Sonara making up because of the fact that, you know, Tam went off and did this thing, and then she
Yeah.
came back, and Sonara was obviously not happy with it because she thought she was betraying them.
and
So
I feel like Tam and Yeager never got a true resolution either. I feel like we had a scene missing there with them really making up.
yeah.
you know.
So yeah, this 3rd season should have been something that connected truly to the Rise of
Yeah,
Skywalker.
and I don't know. I'm just because like with Rebels, I know like we already see those characters in books and stuff pretty much all the time, and like I know we're gonna get something because of the way it ended. But with Resistance, like I have a real fear that we're almost never gonna hear anything meaningful about those characters again, and that makes me really
I wanted
sad.
to see Vi Marati, like the best spy in the world, meet the worst spy ever, Kaz. But I don't think it's meant to be, because he was gonna go to Batuu. They mentioned Batuu, and I was like, oh my god, my dream is gonna come true, and then it did not. But I think that would be really, really cool.
Sad.
Jonah, have you read the Black Spire books? Oh, and Phasma. She's in Phasma.
I actually have not.
Ooh, okay.
That
Okay,
I have not.
sorry.
I'm still super behind. No, that's fine. No, you can. I know some things here and there because obviously I want people to talk about it around me.
Yeah.
But,
Have you?
yeah.
Well, have you read Phasma?
I started reading it and then the Phasma parts got me bored. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's-
And,
no,
like,
it's
I want to.
fine.
I just my friends like just read the cardinal parts and I'm like, okay, I'll do that next time.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
I haven't picked it
Phasma.
up.
Phasma took me a long time to get through because like I was
Oh,
like, oh, Vi Marati Cardinal, this is cool, and then go to Phasma, and like the Phasma parts overall were cool, but not as They didn't need to be that long.
It's a lot. Okay, here. It's a lot better if you listen to the audiobooks because there's like music and it feels like you're
I can't
not
listen
that
to
you're there, but it's
audiobooks,
like
though.
action. But it's really,
I
really
can't.
good.
My brain can't comprehend audiobooks, right? I don't know.
Yeah, same. I get distracted and then
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to what's happening.
Yeah, no, every day when I was going to school, my dad would put it on. And I got really, really interested in it because Phasma is just so hardcore, super genocide-y, but it's okay.
It's not okay, but
It's not, but she's still super cool. And so Vi Marathi is getting interrogated by Cardinal because Cardinal wants to beat up Phasma. But then there's the Black Spire book that's really, really good. That's just Vi Marathi and Cardinal on Batu. And it's just really, really good. And I was really, because Vi Marathi is like the spy. Like, Leia loves her. So I was just really excited if Kaz was going to meet Vi, but then didn't happen.
Sadly. But,
Sadly.
But going back to this
Yeah.
episode.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. So this episode.
Bo-Katan had the bubble shield thing that Sabine has also. That made me happy.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
That was really cool. Bo-Katan's just really cool. And I don't know what. I knew it was in a good way, but Ahsoka was like, "You're nothing like your sister." And I was like, what is she supposed to say? Thanks?
Yeah, that is an awkward comment to tell someone. Especially when that person they're referring to is no longer living. So.
Yeah, just passed away.
Yeah, just like recently died traumatically in front of her, and she's like, "Oh, you're nothing like her," and like, Ahsoka.
Yeah, that was interesting. But I just really liked seeing Ahsoka in action, and she was like, she wasn't really killing anyone. Like, she was, like, kind of exploding their backpacks, which would kill them eventually, but it's okay. She didn't actually mean to kill them.
Well, she meant to kill them. What? She didn't stab them, but she still killed them. Well, if someone is sinking and you stab their like life vest or whatever and they drown, that's on you.
Nah.
Yeah. She knows what's going to happen ultimately, but yeah, it's still something she's responsible for.
There's that green pilot that was stuck that I thought their armor just looked really cool. They were very bright green.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited to see, and I know this is jumping ahead to things we haven't seen yet, but I would love to see, remember in The Mandalorian when the Night of 1,000 Tears is mentioned?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'd love to see things like that referenced here. And not just things from Rebels. So yeah, that'd be really interesting if we even see like Moff Gideon or hear of Moff Gideon or something at some point.
Yeah, do we know when that would have happened? The 1,000 Tears?
The Night of 1,000 Tears? Yeah, it definitely happened. It was implied that it happened in Siege of Mandalore.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the Siege of Mandalore could just be like the Night of 1,000 Tears. Like, that could just be it.
Yeah, like right now.
Yeah,
right now it could be called the Siege of Mandalore, but what happens after would probably be the Night of 1,000 Tears.
Well, and also, I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say. But yeah, I do want to talk about the beginning of the episode. We skipped over that, but it was so good. No, it's not bad. It was just, the beginning was so good.
Yeah, it was.
It was like...
Sorry. Oh no, bingo.
But, we have the beginning well, first off, the Lucasfilm logo. And I was like, did I click the right thing on Disney Plus? Was my first thought.
Oh yeah.
But then it was Clone Wars, and it was Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, like, it did the Star Wars thing. It didn't do the Clone Wars
Star Wars thing, yeah.
But then it did do the Clone Wars thing with the montage in the beginning. And we see Plo Koon and Aayla Secura where they're gonna die.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I saw that and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I was gonna say First Order. The Order 66 is supposed to happen in the next episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
that's
so.
stressful.
Which is, yeah, one other thing that made me sad in watching that montage was the fact that Ahsoka, the last time she saw Plo Koon was when she left the Order, so she won't be able to see him ever again. So that made me sad.
It's
Oh, y'all.
but like, cause it was so like, oh my god, I don't even. That was rough to watch. Like to see that, I was like, they didn't just do that, really. They're just rubbing it in at
They
this
did that on
point.
purpose.
But yeah, also there was Cool Grievous.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
I didn't notice him.
He
Or at
looks
least his
so
differences.
good. His eyes were like just better. It was just amazing.
Better, yeah.
He's like, oh, they were like more sunken in and like darker around it, and like, oh, it was so good.
Yeah, it makes me so sad that last time, that was the last time Ahsoka sees Anakin like in the light.
yes, yeah.
It's so sad.
But yeah, so they're having that battle, and Cody is, commanding people because he's a commander. He's doing his
He is a
thing, and then
commander.
Obi-Wan saves him with the missile and the lightsaber.
Yeah,
Someone
that's
set
right.
that to "I Need a Hero." It's the funniest thing in the world.
I did not know that. That's funny.
It's so like I was because I saw I'm like, oh, they're just posting a clip of the episode, and I clicked the sound on. I was like, oh my god.
They did that with Ben Solo too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it's more timed with the music. This one, it like works better.
Okay.
I mean,
Got it.
maybe I'm biased because I don't like Ben Solo, but
No, that's completely fair.
yeah, so they're having that battle, and it reminded me a lot of Christophsis in the first.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where
definitely.
Obi-Wan and Anakin, and then Anakin commits a war crime by falsifying surrender.
Oh yeah.
Which Obi-Wan also
Is
did.
that a war crime?
Yes, falsifying surrenders or faking surrender is a war crime, which Obi-Wan also did in the Clone Wars movie.
Why are there rules in war?
Well,
There have to be.
yeah, well, you think like if people are faking surrenders, and people aren't just going to trust surrender, so then no one can surrender anymore.
But like, it's a war.
Would you rather there not be rules?
I mean, if a person's that evil to start one, why would they follow the rules?
That's a good point.
I don't know. I don't know how they, I really don't know how they uphold those rules, but they're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
No, I'm just.
I also love Under the Bridge or
Oh,
wherever
like
that
the
was.
poor clones.
Oh yeah.
They're
No,
like,
they're
"Oh,
like, yeah,
yes,
it'll
sir,
be
yes,
another
sir."
5 minutes.
And
That
That's
was
funny.
R2, I didn't realize how badly I missed Clone Wars R2 until I
Oh.
saw him, and I was like, oh my god, it's R2! I got so excited.
For me, I'm just like, it feels like Clone Wars hasn't left. So while I was excited about R2 and like seeing everyone, I'm more like, they're back, kind of. I don't know. But it just feels like Clone Wars never left for me, and I really enjoyed thinking of it that way because that was so long ago.
Just, yeah.
Indeed.
Like I don't know, that first scene of this episode just really made me feel like when I was like 7 watching the Clone Wars movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it just made me very happy because you have like R2 and the clones doing their thing, and the Jedi and like the big droid ball walker whatever things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they're called.
It's okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Anakin talks to the droids and then kills them all with the jetpack clones. They fly now.
They
They
do
do.
fly now, but I thought that was so funny because like me and my family were all really worried about the clones falling, and then they like jumped off and they used the jetpack, and my mom was like, they made me feel bad for them. Like,
I just thought it was funny when like Rex is like, oh, a few more minutes, and they're all like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
just the life of the 501st, just dealing with Anakin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Having to do crazy things.
and Anakin's like, yeah, we finished our last battle.
Huh? Hi, this is my father. He can't hear you guys, so I have headphones.
Are you still
Well,
podcasting?
We still miss
Hi,
him.
Jonah.
Hi.
Lizzy. I can't hear you say hello.
Hi.
I just assume
They
you're
said
saying
hi.
hello. What helmet does Jonah need for me
Yeah,
to print
Joni
for?
Nini helmets.
Oh no, not at the moment. No, thank you though.
All right. I I just figured I'd stop in.
Okay. Oh, wait, do you want to tell everyone what made you tear up about this Clone Wars episode?
All right, can they hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so it reminded me of when we first saw when Zoe was just a little shaver, and we saw the Clone Wars in the movie theater. And I thought, since I was like a stormtrooper, that Zoe was kind of like Ahsoka, and I was like Rex when they were racing up the hill. You know, when they said meet you at the top.
Yeah.
And then when I saw it the other night and said race you to the ground or whatever, it kind of made me realize, because when Zoe was little, I knew she was going to be greater than me and do wonderful things. And then I just started tearing up when I realized that she has become this wonderful woman doing wonderful, cool stuff. Not only Star Wars stuff, but other things. And I'm just the old Rex with still the same beat up old armor. So anyway, that's my dad moment. All right, I'll let you Mandos get back to talking.
That's a good Fozzie Air
I gotta go
moment.
Prince of Helm. I gotta make 3 people.
That's
Aw.
a very
Watch Triple
sweet
Zero's
story.
brave driving.
Zoe.
What? I know I'm crying now.
I figured. I have those senses of knowing when Zoe's crying. Aw.
Yeah.
My dad never says that to me.
It's okay, mine doesn't either. He doesn't even watch Star Wars.
Aw.
No, but when we were, my dad didn't say that when we were watching the episode. He didn't tell me till today, and only because he said to my mom, and she said, you have to tell Zoe. But while we were watching the episode, I was like already crying, of course. I cried the whole time, and my dad's like, he's around that scene. He was like, you were just a little kid when we watched the first Clone Wars, and I was like, why would you say that right now?
Adding to my tears.
Oh no. But it's okay. Like, we were so small when it came out. And I like watching it Saturday mornings. Like, I do like a little wait, so that way I can watch it Saturday mornings and be like, I remember when I used to do this. But, yeah, Clone Wars is just really, really awesome. And, Ahsoka is just super relatable. And it's kind of funny because when I was rewatching Clone Wars with my dad, like, I kind of noticed when Ahsoka's, like, barely starting out, she's like, to me, she was super annoying. Because I was like, oh my god. Like, we get it, you're really, really cool, but calm down, it's okay. And then I realized, I'm like, oh, that's how I was when I was 13 or, like, 15. But just growing up with Ahsoka is just a lot. It's really amazing.
Like, yeah, like, I know, for Lizzie, you're my age, obviously, but, like, Clone Wars has been pretty much my whole life that I can remember. Because I was 7 when it first came out. And I don't remember too many years before that, so, like...
I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old.
I'm trying to remember how old I was. I had to have been 18 because I had just graduated from college, and then during that summer, I found out about the movie, and then I went to see it when it came out at the movie theater, and I went to like a 2:00 show or something, and nobody else went with me, so I was just by myself. So I watched it, and there was only like 5 other people at the theater, but I remember being so in awe of what I was watching, and that was 2008. So then 2018 comes around, and I'm at Lucasfilm. I'm talking to Dave Filoni on the stage, asking him questions about Rebels, and I thought, wow, that's crazy. 10 years ago, I was watching Clone Wars for the first time and thinking, wow, these people who made this are really cool. And then there I am interviewing one of the creators. I'm like, how did this even happen?
I just love how they like include the fans so much in this. Like I forget what book it is, but they're using they hired an artist, Lorna Ka, to do to do all the art, and I was like, wow, like, she was just doing like little arts of like Ahsoka and Kanan and stuff like that, and now here she is, and that's so cool. Like, it's amazing. Clone Wars is just really great. And Star Wars in general is just really great. Yeah, I thought that was really amazing. Oh,
But
you
that
guys are
was a
gonna
great
make me
start to the
cry.
Yeah, I know. That was a great start to the arc, and yeah, I think it's just going to get progressively more intense and
More tears.
more emotional, and it's just going to end us with our hearts broken,
But in a good way.
but in a good way. Yeah.
So I just want to. This is going back to an earlier discussion about the fulcrum thing because I'm on the Wikipedia page to make sure I don't miss anything about the episode. And fulcrum isn't just Anakin's frequency; it's a frequency he used with Saw Gerrera, which is
Yes, that's right.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
Oh, I love that they mentioned Sakura because that's what they said. They were like, "Oh yeah, like it was probably Sakura. It's fine."
the Onderon rebels.
Yeah, and yeah,
That's just
it's-
interesting though, because like the Mon Mothma's rebellion, which was like the primary rebellion, hated Saw Gerrera.
Yeah.
So it's interesting they
Yeah.
used half what was half his frequency and half Anakin's. Interesting strategy.
Yeah, it's still weird that he didn't notice it, but it's fine.
You know,
Like Anakin.
I just sometimes I wonder though if like the things that are like Anakin, of course, is kind of an idiot. We all know that, but like I wonder if it was also like he just when he was Vader, he just didn't care as much about like he cared like when the Emperor sent him to go kill people, he would do it viciously, but he didn't
Right.
care to like notice or do Imperial things outside of what he was just told to do, you know? So I wonder if he didn't notice stuff just because he was kind of like, I'm dying, you know?
Yeah.
Which is sad to think about, but like also he killed a lot of people, so get what you pay
True.
for.
Very, very true. Yeah, I'm really gonna. I think I'm. Well, I love almost every Clone Wars episode. Actually, I don't know if there's any Clone Wars episode I don't like. But I really love this season so far, and I can't wait for the rest of the arc.
Agreed.
Because Sam Witwer's been really hyping it up, like on Twitter and stuff, saying it's like the best thing they've ever done, and how it's like a
Right.
proper Star Wars movie. And I'm just like, how can it get any better than what we just saw? Because this is just the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
it's just crazy. I'm
Yeah,
so
and
excited.
It kicked off in an explosive way, and it's going to continue being that.
And then,
I'm so
another
excited.
thing was that Obi-Wan said Shaak Ti was protecting the Chancellor against Grievous.
Yeah, sadly.
So, does that mean, because there's a deleted scene where Grievous kills Shaak Ti.
Maybe it's
So I wonder if that's canonizing, because deleted scenes are in a weird space, canon-wise. Like, if they're not in a novelization, usually means they're not canon. So,
Didn't Shakti get killed by the Emperor?
no.
No, I know Anakin killed her in
Hold
some
on.
other sequence
Well,
somewhere.
in Force Unleashed, she's alive and wearing no clothes on Felucia, and Starkiller is sent by Vader to kill her.
Isn't there one? Oh, I think it was. Wasn't it in the Clone Wars Yoda's vision that Shakti gets killed in the Yoda arc?
Yes.
where-
Yeah.
And I think that was Anakin doing it.
I think so, maybe. But I don't know. It's because Shakti couldn't, if she's protecting the Chancellor from Grievous, and Mace Windu lost contact with her, Anakin wouldn't have killed her at that point.
No, it's true. Yeah,
So-
so it's definitely going to be Grievous.
Well, because I'm trying to think. There's a book in the EU. Shakti dies so many times. This poor lady. But because there's a deleted scene where she's killed by Grievous to show, I guess, his power to Anakin and Obi-Wan. And then there's a scene in an old EU book that's not canon anymore where she's killed by Anakin in the library. And then Force Unleashed.
Know how to kill her.
Force Unleashed, I think the way you kill her in Force Unleashed is you have to, like, shove her down a cliff or something. She can't catch a break. But,
Yeah, seriously, it's like a cat with 9 lives.
So I wonder if this is canonizing that deleted scene. Because I think what the context for that scene is that she was protecting the Chancellor and Grievous captures her just so he can kill her in front of Anakin and Obi-Wan. So
Yeah, I can see them going that route.
Sad.
Indeed.
Who's? I guess. I'm looking at the Revenge of the Sith scenes. I don't know why, but who was there when Palpatine killed all of them?
Kit
Mace
Fisto,
Windu.
Sassy
Yeah.
Tin.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought Shakti was there.
No, I don't think there were any women in that scene.
Nope.
Who was it? It was
No,
Kit
there
Fisto,
wasn't.
Sassy Tin, Mace Windu, obviously.
There's one more. I don't know his name.
Let me see.
But anyway, yeah.
I need to look it up now. I'll be
they're gonna
mad.
find the best way to kill her off. I believe in them.
Anything is better than Force Unleashed, to be honest. And no shade if you like Force Unleashed, but that scene is not good. It's not with it.
Oh.
Eth Koth. It's Eth Koth.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because he's the only blue lightsaber until Anakin shows up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anakin has a space mullet.
The
Don't
space
at me.
mullet. Don't be mean to the space mullet.
So
But
that's
yeah.
pretty much it when it comes to the episode, right?
We didn't talk anything
Yeah.
about Maul. We haven't said a single thing about
Oh,
Maul in the
Maul,
sewers.
right.
Oh wait, but okay. So basically, Obi-Wan says like, "Oh, and make sure you capture him. He doesn't seem to stay dead." And I'm like, cockroach.
It's true.
Cockroach. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Sam Witwer is just amazing.
I love how he keeps doing things. Every time we see him, he's doing things to get Kenobi. Even in Rebels, it's to get Kenobi.
Well, I mean, it's just so interesting because he and Ahsoka, in that way, are sort of narrative foils where they're both screwed over by their masters.
Yes.
But Ahsoka takes the high road, and Maul does not.
No, he
No.
doesn't.
So it's interesting to see them face off and get that confrontation we were promised back in Twilight of the Apprentice.
I know. I'm so excited.
But yeah, so he sets this trap for a Jedi, but hoping it'll be Kenobi. He only wants it to be Kenobi. He doesn't care about anyone else. And then, by the way, this is totally off topic, but I was watching Phantom Menace today, and whenever Maul came on screen, my dog would look away from the TV. So I think he's afraid of Maul.
Aw.
Oh no.
But yeah, so Maul
he
sets.
has a good reason.
Yeah, so Maul sets the trap, and but Obi-Wan doesn't show up, and he gets mad, of course, because
Oh yeah. Why would Obi-Wan go anyway?
that's such like a poorly planned trap.
Like
though.
he could have said something else, like, "Oh, bring Kenobi" or something, like something threatening.
Not even bring
But-
Kenobi, but he did nothing to make it personal for Kenobi besides it being Mandalore. But since Satine's dead, like frankly, I'm not sure Obi-Wan
Yeah, why
cares
would
about
he?
Mandalore any more than any other system because Satine isn't around anymore. You know,
Yeah.
so
that was so sad. Satine.
No, I think it's because even though it's not really super personal for Obi-Wan in that regard, I think it's sort of like how in Twin Sons in Rebels when Maul uses Ezra to lure Kenobi out. It's because Kenobi, regardless of what's happening, he wants to do good. He wants to help whoever's in trouble, and that's how he lures him out in that episode by threatening Ezra. And so that's the similar situation that's happening here. He's using Mandalore to lure Kenobi because this system, these people are in danger, and a Jedi, that's what a Jedi do. A Jedi would do. So I think that's why he's luring him for that reason.
I would say though that the difference between Rebels, that situation Rebels and this, is that in this situation there is nothing stopping
Luke,
any other Jedi from coming.
yeah.
Where Rebels only Obi-Wan could have come to help Ezra. But
That's true,
there's
that's
nothing
true.
stopping literally not even just a Jedi, just literally anyone else coming.
And that's where Maul's strategy, his thirst, that's where he fails. He's just thinking one track, and he doesn't really realize all these other things that he can use to his advantage. He's just
Yeah.
not functioning well.
No, he's not doing very well.
He's yeah. But yeah, so he gets Ahsoka into the sewers, kills all the clones that she was with, including poor Captain Vaughn. He has like Cask and the other Mandos helping him too. And so Ahsoka gets cornered, and then Maul comes out slowly walking with his little metal feet and the clang. He's like ready to give his dramatic speech, and it's not even Kenobi. So
He was like, wait.
you know he was
Who are
disappointed. He like had it
Yeah.
rehearsed. He had this whole monologue ready, and he comes out. And it's like
Honestly.
it's not even the right person. What?
Why are you here? That was so good. Sam Witwer, his voice is just amazing. But yeah, I'm really excited. See what happens to poor Ahsoka.
Poor Ahsoka. Poor everyone. It's Revenge of the Sith time. It's no one wins except Palpatine.
Caleb, he escapes.
He's
fine.
traumatized by his master dying for him and his friends betraying. No one wins.
But then he becomes a father and he's fine.
Right, but that's
He dies, but it's
just-
okay.
in the moment. No one's gonna win. It's gonna suck. It'll be great.
That's kind of actually the thing that Ezra tells Kalani and Rex in that episode, the first battle, or the last battle, I should say. And that's what he says. Nobody won.
Yeah. Which is true. I mean, him, Yoda, like, they all say it. It's like no one actually wins or really benefits from the war.
Except for Palpatine.
And he created the
Palpatine.
war in the first place.
Yes, this is true.
That's the thing, because I watched Phantom Menace, and I'm just like, it's just frustrating. Because if there's times where it's like if one person had just done something a little different, he would have come up with a different plan. But I don't know.
True.
So frustrating, Palpatine.
Very, very frustrating.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
I think we went through the whole episode not in order. We jumped
not in
around a
order.
lot, but
But it's okay. I think that's a podcast.
yeah, that is a podcast. Thank you,
Yeah.
Jonah, for
Of
dropping in.
Where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter with the handle @BlueJakeEyes, and you can also find me talking about Clone Wars with my mom on the Geeky Bubble Pod.
Yay.
Yay.
I hope she really likes the episode.
Oh, I'm sure she will. Yeah, she's probably gonna be hating on Maul, Maul's so stupid.
Which, to be fair, he is. Yeah.
So I can't
Okay.
wait for her rants on Maul.
Can't wait to hear about it. Okay, thank you for joining us, Jonah.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's always awesome to talk with you guys.
It's awesome to talk to you, Jonah. So, I was Lizzie.
Well, you can find Star Wars
Oh,
Geek
yeah.
Girl social media on Twitter. It's at SW Geek Girl, and Facebook just Star Wars Geek Girl. And then obviously you're listening to the podcast, so you know where to find that.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
Lizzie, the Rogue Rebels plugs.
So we are The Rogue Rebels, and you can find our website at theroguerebels.com, Instagram, The Rogue Rebels. Yeah, we're gonna probably do an episode sometime soon, and talk about Clone Wars, more Clone Wars. So I can talk Clone Wars all day, but anyway.
So yeah,
I was Lizzie.
I was Zoe.
Jonah.
I was Jonah.
Thank you for listening to Star Wars Geek Girl. May the Force be with you, and goodbye.
Bye.
Star Wars Geek Girls. They're geek girls that like Star Wars. And sometimes cry.